everybody, welcome back. So we've talked a little bit about knives here on the channel with some of our subscription boxes and whatnot. So I figured I'd throw together just a hopefully quick video here on some of the knives that I recommend. Now, these are 10 knives, right? 10. That are all under 50 bucks. Now, there is one on here that you sometimes might see for over 50, but in general, everything on the table here is under 50 bucks. In most cases, under 40, anyway, I'll detail them as I go. I'm not a huge knife snob. I don't really buy super expensive knives. This is a bit of a tangent, but I got an email from, I don't know, something somewhere, and they had a $1,200 folding knife in their ad. And I thought that was absolutely crazy. It's like, am I in crazy town? So I dug up one of the old knives that I used to use back in the restaurant days when I was just, mainly breaking down boxes, and that was this little guy, this little Winchester knife. And this isn't a nice knife either. This was the old $5 Walmart special back in the day. And the funny thing is it's just kind of crap. But it was $5. So I used to just take these off the shelf and buy them fistfuls at a time. And then they went to $10, and then they were only available on holidays, and then they changed the design and they were only available on holidays, and then they were totally gone. I still have like one left, that was just randomly in a box, but it's just, mystery stainless steel. I am not a huge serration person, but they worked. They worked for breaking down boxes. But sometimes you want something a little nicer without going crazy. So again, let's just kind of go down the line here. I will start with our cheapest, and I don't want to mispronounce this, but I think it's higano. I'm not 100% sure. Now, these you can find available darn near everywhere. Online, eBay, Blade HQ, whatever. They are a pretty cheap knife, although you can get some more expensive variants with some better steel or brass handle and all that stuff. But I think I got this for right around 12 bucks off of eBay. And it's if we want to focus on it correctly, it's a fine little knife. It's very, very simple, but nice and sharp. Kind of a cool blade, but it's a little rough, if I can get it to focus a little on the top. So it looks a little rough, a little unfinished, but it's a cheap knife, and a lot of people are actually featuring these. I see them from time to time in videos, so that's one that I have, and I pretty much set it on my side table, and I open packages with it for the most part. I didn't really put these in order or anything like that, but that's okay. So the next cheapest one is the QSP Penguin, which this is the one I got from drop.com. I'm sure you guys have watched that video. If you haven't, there you go. I got this for 26 bucks. Normally they're right around 29. D2 steel, and this is the denim or blue jean micarta, depending on where you get it. That's where they'll, what they'll say. I like this knife a lot. I actually have noticed myself carrying it a little bit more intimidating blade to most people, but it's a very comfy knife, and with a decent steel, good deep carry clip, and a nice open, nice swift open with the thumb stud. So the QSP Penguin, these are right around $29 in most places that you find them. I will put links down below if you want to check them out independently. That's up to you, but or you can just find them yourself. Whatever, man. All right, the next one. Now this is a bit of an oddball because the name is spelled R-U-I-K-E. Apparently this is supposed to be pronounced Rake for some reason. I don't know why, but this is the Rake P801SF. Let's see, what was the steel on this? 14C28N. It's written on there. There we go. So this is a nice kind of a basic knife Really nice, feels good in the hand, slim knife, good open. You know, it's just on Teflon washers, but you know, the centering's good. The open's pretty good from the thumb stud. Also has the flipper if you like the flipper. I find the flipper a little bit tiny, but a nice looking knife, good performing knife. You know, it was nice and sharp out of the box, frame lock. But again, this one is right around $29, $30, brand new. And Rake actually has quite a few different knives, and I've kind of, you know, been getting into the company a little bit because, well, I like that knife and I've had it for a while. Seems to have tested pretty well. Next knife on our list, you know what? I think it would be the Kubi Iris or Iris, E-R-I-S or E-R-I-S. This is right around, you know, $33, $34. D2 steel, kind of a unique blade shape. G10 handles. Feels really good in the hand. I think the only bad is the clip. I'm not a huge fan of this clip here. It kind of is a little bit too high profile, this little dinghy here. And it's not super crazy comfortable. Honestly, I would probably take that off. I probably should take it off and throw it in a bag like where it is naturally. But this is a little bit bigger knife than I want to carry in my pocket. But you know, without that stupid clip on there, you know, it's reasonably slim, feels good in the hand, great cutting edge. I actually didn't know too much about Kubi until I got this knife, but I like it. And it is a little bit of an odd shape, but it's nice. Also runs on bearings, liner lock, runs on bearings, so nice, nice assisted opening there with the flipper. But overall, very pretty knife. I like this sort of texturing on the G10. And again, it just feels good, looks good, opens nice, pretty good steel. So, and you know, not very expensive. A lot of the Kubi knives are not very expensive, but again, that's the Kubi Iris. I don't know, 33, 34, 35 bucks in that general range. Let's see, next on my list, I think we will talk about the CJRB Raya. And this is, we've got the natural G10, sort of jade colored G10. Nice open there with the thumb stud. Let's see, which was the steel? I always forget on these. So this is 12 C27N, so, you know, reasonably nice steel there. Kind of a nice blade shape. It looks not, it looks kind of classy, has sort of the chrome inserts and everything. You know, the frame is sort of chrome. It just looks classy. It looks kind of old school, looks kind of classy. Nice centering, you know, good deep carry clip there. One side, but is what it is. But a real nice open. I actually find myself reaching for this knife more often than not. One, it is nice and sharp. I've used it. It's, you know, it's a nice knife to use, but it also looks really good. You know, kind of slim, so maybe some of our larger hand folks here won't necessarily like that, but it's fairly unobtrusive in a pocket, which I just usually carry mine in the back pocket. But the CJRB Raya, right around $33, $34, and it comes in a couple of different colors, and they have some nice colored G10. There's like a blue that's really nice as well, but that's actually one of my favorite knives. Let's see, moving on, we should talk about the Kershaw Cryo. Yeah, the Cryo first. Now there's a Cryo 1, Cryo 2, this is the Cryo 1. The Cryo 2, I believe its distinguishing feature is that it has a Tonto blade. Not a huge fan of the Tonto blade. This is just the sort of normal, standard, you know, no frills sort of blade there. Speed safe deployment here, assisted design, whatever you want to call it, is so smooth. It is probably the nicest assist mechanism that I've seen in a knife. And I've had a couple, and I don't have my crappy Gerber. No offense to Gerber, but I do have a crappy assisted Gerber that just, I mean, its assist is just so strange. But I like the assist function on this knife. And this is another one that I kind of, you know, just go to carry. You know, reasonably nice knife. I believe this is like 8 CR14 MOV if I'm remembering that correctly. It's not written on the knife for me this time. but it is a hinderer design. You can rotate your clip to 4 different positions if you want to change the clip. Frame lock, you know, reasonably okay centering there, but again, the deployment's really great. Now, the only thing that I would say for this is that, at least for this one, I did need to do a little bit of blade care with it out of the box. It didn't cut really nice, so, you know, give it a strop, little quick sharpen, whatever, and it's, you know, it's in business. But I like the look of it. I like the open. It feels good in the hand. It's a fairly simple knife, you know, something you see a million times. But again, Kershaw, that speed safe assist is just, it's one of the better ones. It's one of the best out there. I'll say it's the best. Now, these are right around $35, $36, give or take. Let's see here. We will be moving on to the CRKT CEO. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge CRKT fan. They just don't make a ton that I like. However, the CEO is a slick knife. I like this knife a lot. I like its sort of, you know, little slim contour, slim profile, slim blade. I like the G10, kind of made to look a little bit like carbon fiber, but it doesn't look cheesy. You know, up close and personal, this looks like a very nice knife. Rogers design, and if again, I believe this is another 8CR14 MOV, sort of, you know, alphabet steel or whatever, which I think is definitely falling out of favor. It's certainly going on to bigger brands that are trying to make a little bit cheaper knives, whereas we see a lot of other knives, some of them included on this table, that are using like D2 or the 12, or, you know, a couple other different blade steels to get around this, but it's fine. Super razor sharp out of the box for me. They also make this particular blade with a flipper, and they do make a D2 variant as well, if you would like that. Pretty good deep carry clip. It's just nice and slim, good deployment there. I believe this one's on bearings as well, frame lock, but it feels good in the hand, nice and slim. You know, this is kind of like your 007 knife. You know, you put it in your jacket, you know, 007, but it looks good. I like the look of it. I like the feel, the deployment, and the knife is pretty good. So this one is right about 40 bucks. Give or take, right about $40 with the CRKT. Again, you can kind of get that cheaper sometimes. Just all depends. Let's see. The next two are almost identical in price. Let's go with the big boy. Let's go with the Kershaw CQC. So this is an Emerson design, has the Emerson Wave Open, which I'm not going to demonstrate because I just can't get it to look flashy enough. Big boy knife. Brown G10 on one side. Deployment is okay with the little thumb wheel there. I like the blade design though. Like, I could use this as sort of like a Skinner. And it's a big knife, but it feels good in the hand. The clip is unobtrusive, although I would like to see that a little bit higher up. I know they have this darn lanyard hole, and you can switch a clip to the other side as well if you want, but I think it's a little low to fit in the pocket. This is another one that I wouldn't necessarily carry right in my pocket, but that's just me. Either way, it's a nice knife. Again, that Emerson design, kind of a way to get you know, an Emerson a little bit cheaper package. Again, we are looking at that 8CR14 MOV steel, which again, I think is going to fall a little bit out of favor at some point or another. So frame lock, but again, the deployment's not bad. The centering on this one is, it goes out a lot. I constantly have to kind of fix it up a little bit. It doesn't really impede much, really, but it is usually a little off. You know, oh, that wasn't a good deploy at all. You know, the deployment is a little clunky because it's a big knife and you're trying to get a hold of that thumb disc, but razor sharp out of the box. This was a nice sharp blade out of the box. Again, a little beefy. But this is something that I would consider more like a bug out bag, like throw in your bug out bag, because again, it's a, see, I still can't deploy it all that well. I'm just whacking the camera. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's serviceable. It works. but it's a nice blade shape. I like having something a little different from time to time too. So the CQC from Kershaw, this is right around 40 bucks, give or take, right around 40 bucks. I feel like when I bought it the first go around, I think I paid maybe in the 30s, but regardless, that's where it hovers. So the next that is kind of sharing a similar price point is the Ontario Rat number 2. I have with the Desert Tan G10 scales. This is the D2 blade steel. You can also get these in Aus 8. A little bit cheaper with the Aus 8, you know, 28 to 35 bucks, give or take. These with the D2 hover right around $40. Sometimes a little bit more expensive, sometimes a little cheaper. Just depends. I got mine a little cheaper. It was just, you know, a sale. But a neat blade shape, little, you know, different design than what we normally see here, but very comfy in the hand. Good, solid, sharp blade, nice jimping on the top. You know, the centering of the knife is good. The deployment with the thumb studs is nice. Nice and easy. Everything about this knife just screams tradition. And I think that this is a great knife for first timers. You know, something that's not, you know, tactical, or, you know, it doesn't, I'll be honest, like sometimes certain knives can be a little intimidating. This is just a fairly, oh yeah, sure, it seems familiar, and it's nice and comfortable. You can flip your clip around to 4 different positions. For the money, I think it's a great blade. I would personally recommend it, but there you go. So yeah, that's the Rat number 2, Ontario, and again, that's right around 40 bucks for the D2 variant. Aus 8, sure, you can get that too. I would recommend the D2 over the Aus 8, but to each their own. You want to save a couple bucks, get the Aus 8, or just don't. Okay, so I think we are on our last knife, right? I've went through all these. I'm not like forgetting anything. So let's go ahead and go to the Savivi Elementum. This is a knife I think that has been on a lot of people's radars for a while now. And I can easily see why. It's a very simple knife. Sleek operation, liner lock, good centering, D2 blade steel on this one, a nice deployment, range of colors in the G10. This is the gray, but a nice, you know, just overall a really nice sharp blade, and it looks good. And this is the one that I was saying, you know, yeah, I was going in order, so it shouldn't have been much of a surprise. I got it under 50 bucks when I bought it. You know, you're normally going to see it listed for 50 or higher. So you could shop this a little bit and maybe find it under 50, but I'm going to put it in the video regardless because I really like it. But the Elementum you can also get in a couple of other blade steels. What is it? N690, I think that they also make it in as well. I know that they do at least one other steel type, and it's, you know, maybe $20, $30 more expensive. But the D2 steel variant is a nice knife. Again, very nice, very simple, sleek, feels good in the pocket, and again, a nice easy deployment. Now I will say that out of the box, the detent on this was pretty was pretty stiff. It's worn down a little bit, you know, after, you know, you get like a few flips in, but I really like this knife. A nice deep carry clip. One position though, unfortunately. But overall, the Savivi Elementum is one of my favorite knives on the table. And again, if you can get that knife for, you know, under 50 bucks, I think you're flying pretty high there for sure. So this is sort of a range of 10 knives that I would recommend. Favorites, the CJRB, the Savivi, the Penguin, and the Rat. Out of all these, those are the 4 that I would definitely be most interested in. If you have to pick them, I'd probably get the Savivi and the CJRB out independently. If I had to pick one, it would be the Savivi. I do like the Savivi. But honestly, any of these would do what you need them to do, and I think that it's a good price range here too. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'd like to hear what kind of knives that you enjoy. Do you have any of these? Have you had experience with them? And you know, are my favorites your favorites? But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Again, I will put links to all these in the description if you want to check them out yourself, do a little research. Nick Shabazz is pretty much one of the only knife reviewers I watch anymore, because I honestly do think that he is honest about his knife reviews. So he's a good resource for knife reviews, at least in my opinion. And yeah, I think that's about it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and obviously comment down below. And we will see you on the next one. See ya.